5 ways to play the violin more relaxed. If we haven't met, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher. I've been playing the violin for over 20 years. I have my bachelor's and master's degrees in violin performance, and I'm Suzuki trained. If you're enjoying my videos, please just take a quick second to make sure you are subscribed to my channel. It's easy, it's free, and it really helps me out. And if you're looking for more structure and support and guidance along your violin journey, check out my flexible and affordable membership, Learn Violin Online. When you join, you unlock a seamless path to violin mastery, become a part of a supportive community of adult learners just like you, and get unlimited feedback from me. So you always know what's going well and the next steps you need to take to improve. It's no secret that in order to play the violin well, we need to be relaxed. However, I know this is obviously much easier said than done. A lot of the times we tell ourselves to relax, and that just makes us tense up more. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 different practice techniques to help with relaxation when you play for multiple different spots of tension. So first, we're going to start off with mouth and jaw tension. And this one is so big for me, honestly. I tend to make the weirdest faces when I play, and I have definitely struggled a lot with mouth and jaw tension. So if you're struggling too, you're not alone. So the way that you are going to relieve mouth and jaw tension when you play is to practice with your mouth open. I know it might look a little silly, but if your mouth is open, it's impossible to clench your jaw. When you do this, you'll probably find that you want to close your mouth immediately. And if you're really having trouble keeping your mouth open, then you can put something inside your mouth. I usually suggest putting a chip or a pretzel in between your teeth. That way it's super easy to tell if you are clenching your jaw because you're gonna bite into it. I also had a student recently tell me he tried a pencil, which I'm not sure how I feel about, honestly. But if you're having trouble keeping your mouth open, you can put something inside your mouth, ideally something edible, but whatever works, I guess. You can also smile when you play because it's very hard to maintain mouth and jaw tension when you're smiling. Looks a little silly, but it works. For shoulder tension, specifically right shoulder tension, you can have somebody put their hand on your shoulder as you play. This is something that I've struggled with too. I used to raise my shoulder a lot as I was playing. And I think the hard thing is when you get used to it, when you've been doing it for a while, it's really hard to actually tell and feel when you're doing it. So at that time, my teacher would just come over to me, just put her hand on my shoulder, and then it was much easier to tell if I was raising it or not. If you don't have somebody that can put their hand on your shoulder, you can also try putting an object on your shoulder. I'm gonna try a practice mute. I've got the mute on. It's a good reminder to keep my shoulder down. I wonder what would happen if I lifted it. It can fall. Uh-oh. For upper arm tension, so if you tend to raise your arm more than you need to, a great practice technique is to get a bag, got a backpack here, and put it on your arm as you play. My backpack is empty, but if you need a little bit more of a reminder, you can also put a book in it and make it a little bit heavier. That's a really, really good way to make sure that you are not raising your upper arm higher than you need to, that it is staying relaxed, and it's also really helpful to help you feel the natural weight of your arm coming into the string rather than pressing down on the string. The 4th practice technique specifically targets neck tension. So I think a lot of the times when we are clenching the violin with our neck, there's 2 main reasons. One, we need to figure out our setup. Either we don't feel supported enough by our shoulder rest, or we feel like we're having to kind of crane our neck, to get it over the violin. So if you always feel a little bit uncomfortable with holding the violin, definitely check into your setup. But if you find that you're just maybe raising your left shoulder or just clamping down on the violin as you play, particularly in harder passages, then this is the practice technique to use. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go against a wall and you're gonna put your scroll against the wall. That way, this wall is supporting your violin, which will allow you to free up your grip on it. Put my violin against the wall here. And if you're worried about damaging your instrument or the wall, you can put a little cloth in between. I'm also slightly pressing into the wall, but that makes my violin feel super stable and eliminates the need to squeeze with my neck. That's also a really good practice technique if you find that your violin is shaking a lot when you do vibrato. And finally, for left hand tension, I think one of the best ways is to practice wiggling your thumb. So if your thumb is mobile, it's much harder to squeeze. So essentially you would just play a passage as normal, but stop every couple notes, every measure, and wiggle your thumb. That's a great way to help keep the thumb relaxed. I actually have an entire video dedicated to left hand tension with several more exercises. So if that's something you really struggle with, go watch that. I'll leave it linked in the description. Final thought is don't neglect your core and your lower body. Obviously, playing the violin is very upper body focused. That's where most of the tension manifests, at least as far as we can tell. But if your knees are locking out, or if you feel like you're not able to breathe or your belly is getting tight, those are also things to watch out for. I try to really connect with the floor, like via my feet. Keep my knees like a little bit bent, so I have a little bit of a bobble, I guess you could say, as I'm playing, and really try to feel my center of gravity being low in my core and relaxed. If you struggle with tension, you are definitely not alone. Remember this, trying harder doesn't necessarily mean playing better. A lot of times when we try harder, we tense up. Try to really focus on the beauty of the music and allow yourself to make mistakes. Where does tension manifest for you the most when you're playing? Leave a comment and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure you subscribe before you go.